The Earth was silent. From space, the once living planet looked broken, its surface scarred with fire and smoke. Cities lay in ruin, oceans burned in patches, and the night side of Earth, once glowing with lights, was now dark. Orbit was filled with the shattered remains of defense satellites and warships. The Varnak fleet hovered above their warships, calm and quiet, watching what they believed to be the end of humanity. But in the shadows of a large debris field, a small human escape ship floated, powered down to hide from the Varnak scans. Inside, Commander Elira Hayes sat in the pilot's seat, her eyes locked on a flickering screen. They had escaped the final battle by minutes. Earth's last defense had collapsed, but not everyone had died. Not yet. We are still alive, Elira whispered into the mic, sending the signal into deep space on a hidden frequency. It wasn't meant to call for help. It was meant to tell others. Humanity had not fallen completely. Far away, in a silent Varnak scout ship, the transmission played. The alien pilot froze. The message was human, and it was recent. That was impossible, he thought. Earth was gone. Nothing could have survived that fire. Still, the signal repeated, calm and clear. The scout noted the direction of the message and sent a report back to his fleet, but he never got a reply. Minutes later, his ship vanished in a flash of blue light. The human escape ship had hidden weapons, after all, inside the small ship. The crew was tired, injured, and hungry. When they were not broken, Elira gathered them near the command console. Most were civilians, technicians, students, medical staff. Only 3 of them had military training. Still, they listened to her like soldiers. We have the last known coordinates of the outer colonies, she said. Some might still be alive, hidden, waiting. Our job is to reach them and warn them. The Varnak think we're gone. That's our advantage. The crew nodded. Even the youngest boy among them, barely 16, looked serious. The mission was not just about survival. Now, it was about carrying the spark of Earth forward. The escape ship, called the Ember, moved carefully, using gravity from broken satellites to slingshot out of Earth's orbit. They avoided main paths, hiding from sensors. Elira didn't trust silence. She believed the Varnak were still watching, still hunting. 3 days into the journey, Tia, they passed through the outer edge of the Sol system. There, hidden near the rings of a dead gas giant, they found something unexpected. Another human ship, completely powered down. It floated like a ghost. Elira ordered docking. Inside, they found only one survivor, an old man. Former Earth Navy. He had been waiting for years, protecting old data cores filled with maps, fleet logs, and unknown colony signals. I knew someone would come, he said, smiling through tears. They tried to erase us, but I knew we'd return. With the old man's help, the crew of the Ember now had what they needed, proof that more humans had escaped, that some colonies might have survived unnoticed. The data cores showed hidden supply caches, emergency outposts, even a possible fleet location, an old Earth fleet that had gone silent years ago in a distant nebula. But there was danger. The Varnak had not stopped. Their patrols searched deeper into the galaxy. Some human distress signals were used as traps. Colonies that tried to contact each other were found and destroyed. So now the Ember had to move with care. They used dead zone space where radio waves didn't travel well to hide. Every jump felt like a risk. Every signal they received had to be checked twice. Still, they moved forward. One night cycle, as most of the crew slept, Lyra sat alone, staring at a holly match of Earth before the war. She touched the glowing shape with her hand. "We're not done," she whispered. "They burned our home, but they didn't kill our spirit." In the quiet of the ship, that feeling grew. Hope. It was fragile, like a spark. A spark's, when carried with care, could grow into fire, and far out in deep space, that fire was starting to spread. Unknown to the Varnock, other escape ships had survived too. Other commanders had made the same decision to hide, to wait, and to rise again. The galaxy had forgotten the danger of a united human race. They would remember soon. The Ember moved through deep space like a shadow, avoiding known patrol lanes and major star routes. Commander Elira sat in the command seat, her eyes fixed on the stars ahead. Every hour brought them closer to the coordinates of a rumored colony. Code name Haven 4. It had gone dark years ago, even before the war began. Some believed it was abandoned. Others believed it was hiding. The crew stayed quiet but alert. They had repaired the ship's basic systems, but supplies were low. Food was rationed. Power was stretched. Even the recycled air felt thinner. Still, no one complained. They knew what was at stake. Tarn, the ship's engineer, entered the control room, wiping grease off his hands. Jump drives cooled. "We're ready when you are." Elira nodded. "Then we jump." The stars outside the window stretched and blurred as the ship tore through folded space, crossing light years in seconds. Then silence. Real space returned, and a small blue planet appeared before them. It orbited a quiet star. No satellites, no signals, just clouds and ocean. Too peaceful, Elira frowned. Scanned for life. The screen flickered. "Nothing," said Mara, their young sensor officer. "No cities, no power sources, just a few heat signatures. Maybe underground." "That's enough," Elira said. "We're going in." They entered the atmosphere slowly, using stealth mode. As they approached, they saw no signs of war, no wreckage, no alien ships. But they did see something else: sold Earth escape pods, half buried in the sand near a ridge. They landed near the ridge and approached on foot. The wind howled across the planet's surface. It smelled clean, untouched, strange peace. Then a trapdoor opened in the ground. Weapons pointed at them. Humans, dozens of them, wearing old Earth military gear. They looked rough, older, worn out, but not defeated. One stepped forward, a woman with a deep scar across her face. "You're late," she said. Elira froze. "You're from Haven 4. The woman nodded. "Hive. We've been underground since the invasion." Radio silent, waiting for word. "You're not alone anymore," Elira said. "We have others. We have data, coordinates, colonies. We're rebuilding." The woman's eyes widened. "Did it? It's true. The fire didn't kill. U.S. Hull." They led Elira's team underground. Inside the bunker was a working base, barely powered, but organized. Children laughed in the distance. Engineers worked on broken drones. Soldiers trained in tight hallways. Humanity lived here, quiet but strong. That night, they held a meeting. Elira shared her maps, her message, her hope. But the Haven leader warned her. "The Varnock sent scouts this way 6 months ago. We barely stopped them. If more come, we won't be able to hide again." Lyra stood and looked around the room. "Then we won't hide. We prepare. We warn others. We fight back when the time comes." She raised the old Earth banner from her pack. Dusty, torn, but still burning with a red and blue light. The room went silent. Hope returned. The next day, they sent new signals to the stars-coded messages to surviving colonies. Each one said the same thing. Earth may be gone, but humanity lives. The fire did not end us. It scattered us, and now we rise, unseen, far away, in the dark corners of the galaxy. Those messages were heard, by friends, some by enemies. The storm was coming. The stars above Haven 4 shimmered with calm, but the humans below were already preparing for war. For the first time in years, two surviving human groups had found each other. Hope was no longer a whisper. It was a spark spreading quietly across the stars. Commander Elira and her crew worked side by side with Haven survivors, fixing old equipment, restoring broken satellites, and planning their next move. Elira stood with the Haven leader, Captain Rorkan, a cliffside overlooking the valley where their ship, the Ember, now rested. "We've sent the signal," she said. "Now we wait." Rourke shook his head. "We don't wait. If those colonies hear us, they'll need help to move. Some of them will be under watch. And if the Varnock intercept the message, they'll come," Elira finished. "And we need to be ready." Inside Haven's underground base, the mood had shifted. People moved faster. Mechanics reopened, sealed storage rooms filled with weapons, armor, and drone cores. Children trained alongside. Adults, everyone, had a role. The Haven colony had survived in silence, but they had not forgotten how to fight. Elira's crew helped restore communications towers on the planet's surface. From one of those towers, Mara picked up a weak, distant ping. At first, they thought it was background noise, but then they heard it again, short, coded pulses, repeating at regular intervals. "It's not natural," Mara said. "It's a distress beacon Earth pattern, military grade. And it's coming from deep space, near the edge of the Novar Dref." Rourke frowned. "That's Varnock territory now." Lyra stared at the screen. "Then someone is trapped, or fighting. Either way, we can't ignore it." It was a dangerous choice. The Novar Drift was a graveyard. Ships that entered rarely came back. Thick radiation fields, pirate ambushes, and Varnic scouts made it a death zone. But Elira had made her decision. "We go. If it's a trap, we spring it on them." They gathered volunteers from Haven and stocked the Ember with new weapons and spare parts. Before leaving, Elira turned to the people of Haven. "You are no longer hidden. But you are not alone. We'll bring help. Hold the line." The Ember jumped through space, navigating carefully around star systems and using old Earth maps from the data core they had recovered. Days passed. Then they reached the Novar Drift. It was worse than they imagined. The space around them was filled with broken ships, Varnac ships, even some of unknown origin. A field of floating corpses, silently spinning forever. Radiation made scanning difficult. But Mara locked onto the signal against stronger now. They followed it to the wreck of an Earth battleship, the ISS Titanfall. It was torn nearly in half, its hull scorched and cracked, but part of it still had power. Elira led a boarding team inside, moving through dark halls and crushed corridors. They found blast marks, bloodstains, but no bodies, and then movement. A figure stepped from the shadows in worn armor, holding an old Earth plasma rifle. "You're late," he said in a dry voice. Elira blinked. "You sent the signal." Man nodded. "Commander Juno, 2nd Fleet. We fought here, lost too many. We've been hiding ever since, living off scrap and ghosts." Behind him, more figures emerged. Survivors, dirty, tired, but still alive. Some of them looked barely human-scarred, surgically patched, modified to survive space. "We thought Earth was gone," one of them whispered. Elira stepped forward. "It is, but we are not." They helped the survivors onto the Ember and salvaged key data from Titanfall's memory banks. What they found shocked them. Records of secret Earth fleets still unaccounted for. Some had been ordered to scatter before the final invasion. Others had been hiding, like Titanfall, waiting for a sign. Now, the sign had come, but danger was close. As the Ember prepared to leave, Mara detected something Varnock signatures. "Closing in. They found us," she said. "No," Elira replied calmly. "We found them." She turned to Commander Juno. "Can your weapons still fire?" He smiled. "You'll love what we left in the engine bay." In moments, the half-dead Titanfall came alive. cannons roared once more, firing into the asteroid field around them. The Varnock ships entered the ambush zone, then vanished in flames. Titanfall bought time for the Ember to escape with the survivors as they jumped away. The wreckage of the battle behind them, Elira sent out a new message. To all human survivors, we are gathering, we are armed, and we are not afraid. Far across the galaxy, others heard the message and the stars began to tremble. Far from the ruins of Earth, in the cold dark between stars, the Ember raced through folded space, its engines humming low. Elira stood at the command station, watching the newly rescued Commander Juno study a star map on the glowing holotable. His eyes traced old Earth fleet markers, half erased, most thought destroyed. "These are all that's left?" he asked. Lyra nodded. "Maybe. Or maybe more survived and went silent, like you did." Juno tapped a blinking marker deep in the triune expanse. "This one task force Tempest, last known position." Tempest. They were Earth's Black Ops fleet. No one knew where they were even before the war. Elira leaned closer. "You think they're alive?" Juno's voice was quiet. "If anyone could survive, hell, it's them." They made the decision quickly. The Varnak were moving. Patrols were tightening across nearby sectors, scattered. Human colonies that had stayed hidden for years were starting to emerge. But without protection, they wouldn't last long. So Elira chose to gamble everything. Find Task Force Tempest. If they could unite with a hidden Earth fleet, it could change everything. Their journey to the Triune Expanse was long and dangerous. Pirate raiders attacked them twice, but were driven off by the Ember's upgraded pulse cannons, key in one system. A Varnock hunter-killer drone latched onto their hull like a parasite, forcing Elira's team into a brutal boarding fight inside their own ship. They won, barely, but Tarn lost a leg and refused to rest. "This isn't over," he growled, through pain. "I'm not sitting down while Earth still breathes in scattered pieces." After 8 days, they reached the edge of the Expansa region, full of massive dust clouds and gravitational anomalies. Visibility dropped, instruments failed. Business space itself seemed unstable. Juno pointed to a distorted patch of readings. "That shouldn't exist." The region looked like a dead zone on sensors, but Elira trusted her gut. She ordered a silent approach. As they drifted closer, the space around them shimmered, and suddenly, something massive came into view. A ship, no. A fleet. Half a dozen massive warships floated inside a cloaked pocket of space, hidden with stealth tech that should have been impossible. The hulls bore old Earth military symbols, some modern, some ancient. The largest ship, a dreadnought named Eclipse 1, sent a tight beam transmission. "Unknown vessel. This is Rear Admiral Kale of Task Force Tempest. You have 10 seconds to identify." Elira stepped forward, holding the mic steady. "This is Commander Elira Hayes of the Ember. Earth is gone. We carry survivors, data cores, and the will to fight back." There was silence. Then, slowly, the ships powered up one by one. Lights blinked across their hulls. Gun batteries turned, not in threat, but in readiness. "You're not the first signal we've heard," Admiral Kale said. "Just the first we've trusted. You're cleared for docking." When the Ember landed inside Eclipse 1, it felt like stepping back in time. The inside was clean, polished, operational. Soldiers walked with purpose. Engineers repaired drones the size of small buildings. AI systems buzzed through walls. Humanity, here, had not just survived, had advanced. Kale met them at the hangar bay with a sharp salute. "You're late," he said, echoing the same words Juno had used. "We thought you were lost," Elira replied. "So did we," Kale said, "till we started hearing whispers, colonies rising, messages from the void. We stayed quiet. Now, maybe it's time to stop hiding." They sat for hours, sharing intel, scanning the data cores from Haven and Titanfall. It became clear the Varnak weren't hunting humans anymore. They were searching for something they hadn't found during the invasion. A final Earth weapon. Coup, myth, whispered by defectors. Project Revenant. No one ever saw it. Kale said, only that the Varnak feared it. They burned entire systems looking for it. Illyra narrowed her eyes. Then maybe we find it first. Kale looked at her measuring, testing end. Then he smiled. We'll help you. Tempest is yours to command. Outside the Eclipse 1, hangar lights glowed, drones activated, ships realigned into formation. A fleet was rising against Highland. Deadly, human, and far away, in the core of Varnak space, a High Chancellor stared at a red warning screen. A human fleet had reappeared, alive, moving. The Varnak had scattered humanity to the stars. And then, the stars were starting to burn. Back. The newly united human fleet moved like a ghost army through space, silent, hidden, watching. Commander Illyra stood on the bridge of Eclipse 1, the largest ship of Task Force Tempest. Behind her, screens buzzed with data from every surviving colony and scout. Humanity was waking up again, but slowly, and the Varnak were already starting to notice. We need to act fast, Admiral Kale said, for the Varnak crushed those who were just now rising. Illyra nodded. Teach will give them a reason to hesitate. Her plan was bold strike first, not with brute force, but with a message. Not words, but action. They would take back Kepler Station, a key human outpost that had been captured by the Varnak early in the war. It was a communication hub once used to send signals across hundreds of light years. They could reclaim it, they could contact every hidden human group in the galaxy. It would also show something more powerful than any broadcast, that humans could fight back and win. The fleet prepared in silence. Old ships were repainted with Earth colors. Drones were upgraded, stealth modules activated. Even the civilians who had survived Haven and Titanfall offered to help loading ammo, pairing hulls, prepping emergency pods. Everyone knew the truth. This wasn't just one battle. This was a beginning. Kepler Station floated above a dead world, guarded by a ring of Varnak warships. Their technology was brutal sharp, jagged ships with red-lit cores and living metal armor that twitched and pulsed like muscle. To many, it had once been a symbol of Varnak power. Lyra meant to change that. Begin Operation Sparkstorm, she said. From the blackness of space, the human fleet emerged not from the front, but from behind the planet's shadow. They had hidden there, like hunters waiting in the brush. The Varnak were caught off guard. The first wave hit hardy MP torpedoes, shut down Varnak scanners. Then came Earth drones, moving in swarms, jamming signals and crashing into engines. Tempests, gunships, dove next, firing coordinated blasts that split enemy armor like paper. Illyra's voice rang through the fleet. Target the command ship, cut off their head. Admiral Kale led that charge, piloting the Iron Vow, a heavy destroyer rebuilt with stolen Varnak tech. Keen, it slammed into the command cruiser's side and unleashed a storm of plasma fire. Keen, the enemy ship cracked open, and inside, Varnak officers scattered in panic. On the ground, a second team launched from the Ember. Illyra and Commander Juno led this mission themselves. Their target, Kepler's control center. The landing was brutal. Missiles rained from automated turrets, and strange robotic Varnak beasts charged through the dust storms. But the human team had trained for this. They moved through the chaos with older tactics-type formations, flanking movements, short-range pulse rifles. Inside the station, Illyra and Juno found twisted remains of what had once been a peaceful hub. Screens flickered. Bodies lay cold, but the central core still glowed. Mara's voice came through the comms. Ma'am, if you can plug in the relay node, I can override their broadcast locks. Illyra shoved the Earth's-coded relay into the main port. Do it. Above them, the entire station flickered. Then Sangha long-range beacon burst out across the stars. One simple message repeated over and over in every human language. Earth lives. Humanity stands. We are no longer silent. The battle ended within an hour. Varnak ships either fled or were destroyed. Kepler Station, once a symbol of Varnak dominance, now flew the Earth banner again. Red and blue waves rippled through space. A flag raised not on land, but in the void. Across the galaxy, survivors heard the signal. On a frozen mining colony, hidden deep in an asteroid belt, a group of humans in ragged suits looked up as their ancient comes buzzed to life. In a jungle-covered moon once lost to war, human children born after the fall of Earth heard their first real message from the stars, and it gave them hope. And in the halls of the Varnak High Command, silence fell. What they had scattered was regrouping. One Varnak warlord growled in frustration. They were broken. Another replied, his voice tense, not broken. Buried, and now they dig their way out. Back on Eclipse 1, Illyra stood at the viewport, watching Kepler's blue lights pulse in the distance. Admiral Kale joined her. This is only the beginning, he said. Illyra nodded. Yes, but now the galaxy knows. We're not gone. We're coming. And somewhere, beyond even Kepler's range, a dark figure watched the human signal reach into the void. He smiled. A human man, long thought dead. About time, he whispered. Let's finish what they started. So the spark had become fire, and the fire was spreading. The human victory at Kepler Station shook the galaxy for the first time in years. The name Earth spread again, spoken, not in whispers, but in defiance. The Varnak, once confident that humanity was broken, now scrambled to respond. Fleets were rerouted, patrols doubled, and, deep inside their empire, their leaders argued over one growing fear. Humanity had survived, but what worried them more was the way humans fought. It wasn't just strength, it was precision, surprise, planning. Somewhere, someone was leading them. On board Eclipse 1, Commander Illyra met with Admiral Kale, Commander Juno, and a recovered Captain Mara. The war table glowed with red markers. Varnak movements, slow, aggressive, but unsure. They're reacting, Kale said, but not attacking. That means we hit something important. Juno nodded. Kepler wasn't just a victory, it was a message. Illyra leaned in. We need to send a second message. One they won't forget. A soft ping interrupted the meeting. Was a transmission encrypted, human-coded, but old. Very old. Mara's eyes widened. It's Black Protocol. Earth, Ghost level. This is pre-war encryption. Kale's voice dropped. Only one kind of unit used that. Deep black teams. Illyra stared at the screen. Coordinates were clear. The sender only said one thing. We are waiting. Revenant lives. The Ember detached from the fleet under stealth and traveled toward the coordinates in uncharted system, buried in gravity storms and ion fog. No star maps listed it. It was invisible, even to modern scanners. And yet, when they arrived, something massive waited inside the stormed-out station. Not Varnak, not civilian. Something different. Black metal, angular structure, Earth military markings. Its name glowed in faint blue. Sanctuary 9. As they approached, a voice spoke clear. Human, emotionless. Identify and state purpose. Illyra answered. Commander Illyra Hayes, survivor of Haven, liberator of Kepler. Responding to Revenant's signal. A long pause. Then the gates opened. Inside the station, everything felt wrong. Not in danger, but in secrecy. There were no crowds, no noise, just empty halls, clean floors, rows of silent drones, till the elevator doors opened and they saw them. Soldiers in full armor, black visors, snow markings, Project Revenant. Only a few had ever heard rumors about it. Earth's Final Defense, a hidden program made in the last years before the fall. Soldiers who were trained beyond limits, enhanced, modified, and forgotten by command. And now they stood here, silent but alive. Their leader stepped forward, a tall woman with gray eyes and short black hair. Her armor shimmered with nanoscaled motion. "Codename Spectre," she said. "Unit 1 of Revenant Command." Elira stepped forward. "You've been hiding here all this time?" Spectre nodded. "We were built for one purpose: survive the fall. Wait, strike." Juno narrowed his eyes. "Why now?" Spectre's expression didn't change. "Because you've lit the first fire. And because they've started hunting us again." She led them to a dark chamber wall full of stolen Varnock data. "We've been watching from the shadows, intercepting transmissions. Varnock science fleets are chasing something. We believe it's this." She opened a holomap, a planet, unknown, hidden behind collapsing wormholes. "They believe Earth's final weapon is hidden there." Kale stepped forward. "Revenant was the final weapon." Spectre shook her head. "We were just one layer. The last Earth project was Archlight." Lyra's heart beat faster. She had heard that name once in a sealed file back at Titanfall, but no one knew what it meant. "What is it?" she asked. "We don't fully know," Spectre said. "Only that it was made by Earth's brightest minds, locked inside a vault beyond the stars. It's meant to be used only if humanity was wiped out. And now the Varnock are getting close." Elira finished. Spectre nodded. "If they find it first." She didn't need to say more. That night, Elira stood on a balcony of Sanctuary 9, staring into the swirling space outside. Juno joined her. "Did you ever think we'd come this far?" he asked. She shook her head. "I thought we'd die in the dust of Titanfall. Okay. But we didn't," he said. She looked at him. "Okay, and now we carry the future. Every survivor, every hidden colony, every voice waiting in silence. We are Earth now." Below them, Revenant soldiers loaded into dropships. Drones lit engines. Clips 1 sent back confirmation. The fleet was ready. The final hunt had begun. From the stars, they were scattered. Now they were returning, and in the dark places of space, where ancient weapons slept and alien empires ruled, a new force moved quietly, quickly. Humanity's claws had stayed hidden long enough. Now they were coming out. The stars flickered above the dead zone of forgotten space beyond charted maps, where even Varnock ships rarely went. It was here, deep inside a maze of collapsing wormholes and gravity storms, that Earth's final weapon slept. Archlight, Eclipse 1, drifted silently near the edge of the storm field. Commander Elira stood on the bridge, her face calm but tense. Behind her, Admiral Kale, Inspector of Revenant Command, reviewed the last data. Their ships were ready. Their teams were armed. The mission was clear: find Archlight before the Varnock, or everything ends. "We have one chance," Spectre said. "Archlight is not just a weapon, it's a trigger." Elira frowned. "A trigger for what?" Spectre looked at her. "For what Earth was truly preparing. We were never meant to fight this war alone. Archlight will change everything if we can reach it in time." Below the command deck, troops from Haven, Titanfall, Kepler, and Revenant gathered. These weren't just soldiers. They were all that was left of Earth's courage. Men and women who had lost homes, families, entire planets. And yet, they stood ready. The fleet entered the storm. It wasn't like normal space travel. Lights bent, those moved where none should be. Old Earth ships began to glitch, slowing, sensors blacking out. Drones failed. Tech held strong. Spectre guided them through like a ghost in the dark. Then, they saw it, a planet orbiting a fractured star. Metal rings floated around its tangent satellites. Cute towers reached from the surface into space. It was not natural. It was built. This is Archlight, Alira whispered. No, Spectre said. Key, this is its fault. But something else was there too. Varnak. Ships, hundreds of them, already digging into the planet's surface. Their drilling beams lit the sky. Dropships swarmed the towers. They're inside, Kale shouted. They're trying to activate it. Alira's fist clenched. Can we stop them? All units, prepare to drop. The battle was like none before. Human forces landed with silent precision, using revenant cloaking to hit from the shadows. Varnak forces reacted quickly, but they didn't expect human tech to have evolved this far. Every strike was brutal, surgical. Captain Mara led the left flank using drones to hack Varnak's shields. Juno took the central tower, blowing open the gate with the charges planted by ex-miners from Haven. Kale's ships rained orbital strikes on Varnak reinforcements, but time was short. Elara and Spectre entered the core vault together. Inside, the walls pulsed with ancient power earth symbols, glowing blue lights, strange machines humming softly. It wasn't just a weapon chamber. It was like a brain, alive, waiting. The center, a pillar stood cylindrical, glowing. Human tech, but far more advanced than anything Alira had ever seen. Spectre touched the pillar. It recognized her DNA. A voice echoed, "Welcome, Revenant. Earth Protocol 7 recognized." Unlocking Archlight. Panels opened. The room shook, and a beam of light shot into the sky, high above the planet, triggering something in the rings above. One by one, the rings turned and opened from the other side of the system. Hidden ships woke up, massive ones, its forgotten Earth dreadnoughts, kept in stasis. Each ship was the size of a city, armored in ancient alloys, powered by twin cores. They were the sleeping fleet, built in secret, hidden after Earth's fall. Protected by AI guardians waiting for a signal. Archlight had given that signal. Alira stared as the massive ships came online. This was our backup, she whispered. Earth never gave up. It just went dark. Aside, the Varnak noticed too. They turned their weapons to the sky. Too late. The sleeping fleet opened fire. Laser beams, brighter than suns. Missiles the size of buildings. Ships shattered by the dozens. Alira ran to the control panel. Linkus embrying the fleet. Under command. Spectre nodded. Already done. And then it happened. A transmission was sent. Every hidden human colony received it. Every survivor. Every broken group of exiles. Prisoners. Refugees. Soldiers. This is Earth's voice. We are not finished. The fire still burns. The time to rise is now. Across the galaxy, humanity responded. From jungle moons to ice colonies, old Earth. Banners were raised again. Silent bases turned on their lights. Civilian ships changed course, heading toward the signal. Humanity was rising, not as victims but as a force reborn. The Varnak Empire, once endless and confident, now looked over its shoulder in fear. They thought they had crushed humanity. They had only scattered it, and now, piece by piece, humans were gathering again. Alira stood on the bridge of the flagship Eclipse, prime formerly a lost Earth dreadnought, now hers to command the galaxy. Ahead was still full of danger. Many battles remained, but now they had more than hope. They had the strength to fight. "Admiral," Juno said, standing beside her. "Orders." She smiled. "Set course for Earth." Behind them, the fleet followed hundreds of ships, old and new. Soldiers, survivors, revenants, civilians, all with one goal: Take back the galaxy. And the stars whispered a new truth. Earth lives. Earth fights. Earth returns.